What's up, y'all? Welcome to my channel. Make sure you like, comment, engage, subscribe. So I'm just here at the park because I definitely needed to come and ground myself. So I had this thought the other day. I'm just gonna dive into it. But I had this thought the other day. I wrote it down. It says, what if life is just you versus the programming/conditioning of your mind and overcoming the fact that your own mind was programmed to be against you? I still gotta let that question simmer, but I get where I was going. But honestly, y'all, I've had this book for like years, and I read some of like the first chapter, and I love to like skim through books, pick a page and read it. But something has been telling my soul, or my soul has been telling me to pick this book up again. So I'm like, literally the pages that I have read thus far have gotten me in a chokehold. So I went to the chapter. These mosquitoes are out here, but it feels so great outside. Alright, so it's the second chapter. And the chapter is called Underlying Assumptions. There's just like the author ate down in this book. I wanted to just go through assumptions he has listed here, but honestly, y'all, I'm gonna just go. Yeah, I'm gonna read a few of the pages, so we can say that this is just a book club today. All right, so underlying assumptions. Since all theories are based upon certain assumptions, it is important to have an understanding of the spiritual assumptions underlying the theory and practice of radical forgiveness. Before looking at these, though, it is worth noting that even the most widely accepted scientific theories are often based on assumptions for which there is very little hard evidence. We can say the same thing about the basic assumptions handed down throughout the ages about God, human nature, and the spiritual realm. While there is little hard scientific evidence to support their validity, such assumptions have been handed down to us as universal truths or principles for centuries and have formed the foundation for many great spiritual traditions throughout the world. I'm going to read that again. While there is little hard scientific evidence to support their validity, such assumptions have been handed down to us as universal truths or principles for centuries and have formed the foundation for many great spiritual traditions throughout the world. They certainly are foundational to radical forgiveness. Some of these assumptions are now being proven to be scientifically well-founded. I love this part. I prefer to use the word assumption rather than belief or even principle, because simply classifying an idea as an assumption allows for the possibility of a greater truth emerging in the future. Let me read that again. I prefer to use the word assumption rather than belief or even principle, because simply classifying an idea as an assumption allows for the possibility of a greater truth emerging in the future. I am more likely to be open to seeing the deeper meaning in something if I am not ego invested in a belief system I feel obligated to defend. I'm going to read that again. I am more likely to be open to seeing the deeper meaning in something if I am not ego invested in a belief system I feel obliged, to defend. Okay. I prefer to hang out in the question rather than take a fixed position on something that has yet to be proven. I have also discovered that the process of radical forgiveness works equally well whether you believe in it or not. So long as you are willing to try it and use the tools the system provides, it seems to work. Belief is not necessary. In any case, radical forgiveness makes very little sense to the rational mind, at least to the part of the mentality that is grounded in everyday reality as perceived through the five senses. That's because radical forgiveness operates according to spiritual law, not physical law. It is essentially a metaphysical idea. Nevertheless, in order to wrap our minds around the basic idea as best we can, it helps to go over some of the assumptions that give some structure to the concept and a quasi-rational basis for understanding the technology. Each assumption listed here is expanded upon at length in various other places in the book. They are as follows. Okay, y'all. Okay, like, it's finna be a lot. So I really want y'all to engage. If you made it here, please keep watching, because I just love to hear other beings' thought processes and experiences in this life. Oh my gosh, are they playing Larry June? What they know about Larry June? Like, stop playing with me. All right. We have bodies that die, but we have immortal souls that existed prior to our incarnation and continue to exist after death. Therefore, death is an illusion. Oh, my friend's calling. Hold on. Okay. While our bodies and our senses tell us we are separate individuals, we are all one. We all individually vibrate as part of a single whole. In order to exponentially expand our awareness of oneness, we agreed to come to this world of duality in order to experience the exact opposite of oneness, separation. Part of the agreement was that we would forget the world of oneness we came from in order to fully experience the pain of separation. When we have experienced the amount of pain we agreed to have in this lifetime, we use radical forgiveness to awaken and remember who we are. Since the pain of separation is an emotional experience, we need a body to be able to feel it. The human experience is meant to be an emotional one. So the extent to which we deny our feelings is the extent to which we deny our purpose for being here. The human experience is meant to be an emotional one. So the extent to which we deny our feelings is the extent to which we deny our purpose for being here. We are spiritual beings having a spiritual experience in human bodies. Vibrationally, we live in two worlds simultaneously. One, the world of divine truth, which is spirit. Two, the world of humanity. Once we awaken, we can live comfortably in both. The world of humanity is a spiritual classroom, and life is the curriculum. Our lessons are the events that happen in life. The objective is to awaken to the truth of who we are and return home. When we decided to incarnate into the world of humanity, God gave us total free will to live the experiment in any way we choose and to find ourselves the way back home. We have three forms of intelligence: mental, emotional, and spiritual. Our spiritual intelligence knows the truth of who we are and connects us directly to universal intelligence. Life is not random. It provides for the purposeful unfoldment of our divine plan with opportunities to make choices and decisions in every moment, guided by our higher self and ego. There are two definitions of the ego. The first sees it as our friend and loving guide, while the second casts it as our enemy. They are as follows. 1. A part of our soul whose job it is, in cahoots with our higher self and our spiritual intelligence, to lovingly find all sorts of ways for us to experience the pain of separation, that being the purpose for our being on the earth plane. 2, an insidious, deep-seated subconscious guilt complex based on our belief that we committed the original sin of separating from God, who will eventually punish us for doing so. The ego seeks every way possible to reinforce itself and blocks any attempt to reveal the truth that we never separated from God at all. It cleverly ensures its survival by protecting us from our overwhelming guilt, as well as the fear of God's wrath, through the mechanisms of repression and projection. See chapter 7. We create our reality through the law of cause and effect. Thoughts are causes that show up in the world as physical effects. Reality is an outplaying of our consciousness. Our world offers a mirror of our beliefs. At the soul level, we get precisely what we need in our lives for our spiritual growth. How we judge what we get determines whether we experience life as painful or joyful. Through relationship, we grow and learn. Through relationship, we heal and are returned to wholeness and truth. We need others to mirror our misperceptions and our projections, and to help us bring repressed material to consciousness for healing. Through the law of resonance, we attract people who resonate with our issues so that we can heal them. For example, if abandonment is our issue, we will tend to attract people who abandon us. Good, okay? In that sense, these people serve as our teachers. Thank you, niggas and people. We come into the physical life experience with a mission to fully experience a particular energy pattern, so we can feel the feelings associated with that pattern and then transform that energy through love. See chapter 10. Physical reality is an illusion created by our five senses. Matter consists of interrelating energy fields vibrating at different frequencies. See chapter 13. Note, if you find yourself unable to accept any of these assumptions, simply disregard them. It will make no difference to the effectiveness of the radical forgiveness experience. Y'all, so if you have to rewind it, please do, but please let me know which one of those bullets. I don't know if I was reading hella fast, but you can always change the speed too. But let me know which one really spoke to y'all as I was reading them. I'm about to go. I just wanted to be sure that I posted on YouTube and it was something, of course, meaningful. Let me know. Let's have conversation. Once again, the book is Radical Forgiveness by Colin Tipping. Make sure y'all breathe, meditate, celebrate yourself, let yourself know, look yourself in the mirror, let yourself know what you're proud of yourself for today. I love you.